This is Dr. Miles Jones of the B'nai Emunah Institute. Our mission is to recover, translate, and publish the manuscripts of the Hebrew Gospels in the Brit Hadashah, the New Testament. And in the process of doing this, some of our incredibly talented researchers and team leaders have discovered the song of the 144,000 in Revelation, those that received a mark on their forehead. Only by translating the Hebrew Gospels are we able to bring to you that song and what that mark is. This will be presented by Janice Baca, who did the research on this, and the music, the actual music of the Song of the 144,000 has been recovered and will be recorded. The part I wanted to present to you is this mark that was put on the foreheads of the 144,000 in Revelation was the mark of the cross since ancient antiquity, since the earliest times of the birth and development of the Hebrew alphabet and the Hebrew language. The Tav has been represented by the cross. You can see that below the green arrow on the slide. Here's another example of it from the time of the Exodus, written in Hebrew. And here's another example from the base of Mount Sinai in Midian in Arabia. This is the inscription that proves that those writing on the rocks there were in Hebrew. So this is the magnificent discovery that has been made by these incredibly talented team leaders, and we are really proud to present it to you as part of the B'nai Emunah Institute's Hebrew publication project.
Shalom, everyone. My name is Janice Baca, and I lead the Hebrew Gospel translation team for B'nai Emunah, Dr. Miles Jones, and I have some exciting information for all of you. I did release this information last year on a video, which originally was a teaching I had done for our team. And it was a bit complex. And of course, it was for those who have a higher understanding of the Hebrew grammar. And I wanted to compress that and put some more simplified information in there so that you can see the magnitude of what has been discovered, as well as include some of the information about the power songs. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and push forward. What are we going to look over today? We're going to understand better what is the gift of singing as defined in the Hebrew Gospels. And what does the martyr mean? What does it mean? Oh, it means song and might, and I'll show you that shortly. And how do you find the power songs? Because there were power songs in your scriptures. And those of you who have the gift of song might, you'll want to understand and find these as well. And of course, who was Revelation written to? And then lastly, I will show you and reveal to you the song of the 144,000. Let's go ahead and move forward. The gift of singing as revealed in the Hebrew Gospels. Again, without the Hebrew Gospels, this would not have been made possible. So I'm excited to be able to share these findings with you. And I know this will be very exciting for you as well. All right, so who had the gift of song and might? Well, we know David did. And David, King Saul was tormented by evil spirits sent by God. And the servants of King Saul went looking for someone who could play for King Saul to ease him of the torments of these evil spirits. And so they found someone, and of course it's defined here in 1 Samuel 16:18. And one of the servants answered and said, "Look, I have seen a son of Jesse, who knows how to play, a brave one, and a man of battle, and skilled in words, a handsome man, and Yehovah is with him. So the servant says, here's what I found, and here's his qualifications. And so these qualifications, Yehovah being the final one, Yehovah is with him. So we're literally looking at the presence of God who is with David in the singing of these songs. So this is a power singer. And what happens when David sings for King Saul? Well, let's look. 1 Samuel 16:23 says, and it came to be whenever the evil spirit from God was sent upon Saul, that David would take a lyre and play it with his hand. Then Saul would become refreshed and well, and the evil spirit would leave him. And so what was David called? And these are the last words of David, the saying of David, son of Jesse, the saying of man raised above, the anointed of God of Jacob, and the singer of Israel. 2 Samuel 23:1. So that word singer, the root of that word is zamar. In other words, he had the power singing. It was a miraculous power singing. That's why he was called the power singer, or the beautiful, sweet power singer. Let's look at the spiritual gifts defined in 1 Corinthians 14, verse 12. So also you who are ardent for spiritual gifts, seek to excel in the upbuilding of the assembly, verse 12. So these miraculous spiritual gifts are for the upbuilding of the assembly of the people. Verse 15, what then is it? I shall pray with the Spirit, and I shall also pray with the understanding. I shall sing with the Spirit, and I shall sing with the understanding. That's verse 15. Those two words for sing, the root word of those two words are zamar. They're power singing. They're not your everyday singing. In the Hebrew Gospels, the root is zamar, the power singing. So verse 26. When you come together, each one has a psalm, a teaching, has a tongue, has a revelation, has an interpretation. Let all be done for the upbuilding of the assembly. So what is this psalm defined in the Hebrew Gospels? It's a mizmor. A mizmor. The root of that is zamar. It's a power song. That's the noun form of that word, zamar. In other words, when someone gets a miraculous power song to sing, then you do it for the upbuilding of the assembly. So I want to show you this in Hebrew. You may or may not understand Hebrew, but I want you to see the root of this. See the top word is zamar, zayin, mem, resh. Those are the three radicals that form that word zamar, and it means song, might, all in one word. And then you can see variations of that word where we add prefixes or suffixes, and then we change it from a verb to a noun and so forth. So for the first three, they're verbs. The zimra, she sang. Zimer, he sang. Mezamrim, we, you, plural, or they sing. And the last two are nouns. Mizmor, which is a singular form of a noun. They've been translating it as a psalm. And mizmorim, which is more than one psalm. So we've got now our two noun forms. But it's the same word. It means song and might. In other words, it's the power of God in the song. So I want you to understand how you can define the mizmor or the mizmorim plural in the Bible. First, let's look and let's see something. Let's go to Psalms 13, verse 1. The easiest place to go to is blueletterbible.org. They make it very easy to search. You can look in the top search bar at the very top where you see that number 1. You'll see where I had typed in Psalms 13, and you can see I selected King James Version. I had pulled up Psalms 13, verse 1. And you'll see it says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. Why does it matter? Why would they give this introduction? Why would they say to the chief musician? Because it's, hey, attention, chief musician. We've got a miraculous power song of Yehovah that's about to play. So let me get your attention, chief musician, because a miraculous song now is to be played. So we want to find everywhere those mizmor or mizmorim, plural, exist, because we want to see what power songs were created or written for the power gifted singers. So what you do is you click on that Psalms 13 verse 1 link there on that number 1. You'll see that section there. And then you'll see a pop-up box. You'll look at number 2, and you'll see that second word there, a psalm, where it has a phrase underneath it. And then to the right, you'll see another circle. And when you click on that circle, it then will pop up a bigger box, and the bigger box will define the mizmor. And then you'll see the Strong's H4210. All this is under that number 3 number. So this is how you find all of the locations where that word mizmor exists in your Bible. So we're going to continue. Once you scroll down to the bottom of the page, the Blue Letter Bible will give you an entire list of everywhere the word mizmor exists. These are not your everyday psalms. This should have been separated from the Tehillim, which was translated as Psalms, from the Mizmorim, which should have been separated as a power song. But before we leave here, I want you to make sure, don't forget to go down to the very bottom where it says search results continued. Then you'll click on that number 2, and then you'll see the remaining verses, which has the Mizmorim. So now you have a list of the Mizmorim. These are the power songs. These were psalms or songs that were written for those who are the gifted singers. So those who have this gift of singing, when you sing these songs, the miraculous power of Yehovah will be with you. And just like David did for King Saul, the evil spirits will leave these people that you're playing for, because Yehovah is with you. So these songs were written for you. Sing them and play them and rejoice in the Father, for he is with you. All right, so now that we've identified the Mizmorim for all of you gifted singers, let's go ahead and push ahead and see what we've got ahead of us. All right, we're going to look at the book of Revelation. Revelation 1, verse 1. Who was the revelation written to, was given to? Who was it defined to provide for? Well, it says the revelation from Yeshua Messiah, which God gave him to show his servants what must soon take place. He made it known by sending his angel to his servant John. So Revelation says clearly 1 verse 1 that this is written to his servants. This revelation was given for the specific message to his servants, the servants of Yeshua. And of course, we know Yeshua and Yehovah are one. And when you see Yeshua, you see the Father, and they are one. They are echad. So Jehovah's servants know who they are. They know who they are. The song of the 144,000 revealed in the Hebrew Gospels. Again, I cannot stress this enough. It's exciting that these Hebrew Gospels were uncovered for such a time as this. You see everything going on around you, and you wonder, where is the good in all of this? Well, Yehovah is revealing his secrets, his message, his messengers, his servants. He's revealing things like he's never done before. So this is a time to look and to turn to Yehovah, who is the creator of all things. And he is love, he is merciful, he is kind, he is gracious, and he is forgiving. And he is sending out his servants. Are you one of his servants? Who are the 144,000? Well, I don't know. We don't know right now because they haven't been sealed just yet. But I am completely convinced that it will soon happen. You have to look around and say, could it not be? Could it not be? All right, so now let's look at the Hebrew Gospels. Now, this is where the revelation came through. When I found that word zamar, and I started searching from Genesis all the way to Revelation, including the Hebrew Gospels, the exciting thing is that now I can look across with one Hebrew word from one end of the Bible to the other end of the Bible, and I can define everywhere that root is there in existence. That power song, that power singing, the power of God with those who sing. Now, I said, well, who sings in the New Testament? Well, there's a few people that sing in the New Testament, but my eyes went straight for the 144,000. I said, now what on earth would Revelation have to say about those that sing? And that would be the 144,000. So I went to Revelation 14:3, and lo and behold, we have the first word there, mizamrim. Well, the root of that is mizmor, and you guys have heard that before. It is the power song, and the absolute etymology, the radicals that form the root of this word mizamrim is zayin, mem, resh, zamar. In other words, the bottom line means that the 144,000 have the gift, power, presence of Yehovah with the singing. And when they sing, miracles happen, healings happen, people are delivered, demons run away, and this is the whole purpose of the power singing. Let's look at Revelation 14:3 in English. And they sing the renewed song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. No one was able to learn or study this song, but only the 144,000 who were purchased from the earth. Now, of course, that comes from the Hebrew Gospels. Now, take notice where it says the renewed song. It's not a renewed song. We've got a definite article on this song, Hashir, and Hashir means the song. So we're talking about a specific song. And when I had taught my my team before about Chadash, whether it was serving as an adjective, or is it serving as a verb, meaning that's been renewed? And so if there's nothing new, if Solomon is right that there's nothing new under the sun, then it would most likely be a renewed song, one that has been dusted off and is renewed and to be sung again. So therefore, I went with the idea that it's been sung before, because everything is that has been, will be. So let's compare to the first sealing. Let's go to Ezekiel 9, where there was the sealing in Ezekiel. Verse 1 says, and he called out in my hearing with a loud voice, saying, let the punishers of the city draw near, each with his weapon of destruction in his hand. Let's look at verse 4. And Yehovah said to him, pass on to the midst of the city, into the midst of Jerusalem, and you shall put a mark, a tav, on the foreheads of the men, ha'anashim, and then who sigh and cry over the abominations that are done within it. Ezekiel 9:4. Now, I want to look at that word anashim. Now, anashim certainly can mean men, but it also can mean mankind, which means it can be men, women, and even children. So I found nothing in Ezekiel 9 that tells me this was only men. There's nowhere in scriptures that says these that were sealed because they were crying out because of the atrocities that were going on in Jerusalem at that time. There's nothing that tells me that it was only men. So very well, during that time of Ezekiel 9, it probably was men, women, and possibly even children, because anashim doesn't just mean men. And we don't see anything else in here that tells me otherwise. So we have to go with this assumption that it could be mankind. So let's compare the first sealing to the last sealing. And let's go with that same argument that I just presented to you. Now, Revelation 7:3 from the Hebrew Gospels It says, and he said, do not damage the earth, nor the sea, nor to a tree, until I give a mark, a tav, upon the foreheads of the servants of Yehovah. Now, I'll get into the tav in just a moment. But who are the servants of Yehovah? This is very clear. There are male and female servants defined in Joel 2:29 and Acts 2:17 and 18. So we know the servants can be both male and female. So for anyone to say that it's only the servants, and the servants are only men, they're incorrect, because the servants are both male and female as defined in Joel 2:29. So the book of Revelation was written both to male and female. So it's not one gender over the other. Let's look at Ezekiel 9:4. And Yehovah said to him, pass into the midst of the city, into the midst of Jerusalem, and you shall put a mark, a tav, upon the foreheads of the mankind, who sigh and cry over the abominations that are done within it. So now we can see that when we're comparing the Hebrew Gospels to Ezekiel, that men is most likely mankind, because there's nothing else that tells us otherwise. Because if the servants of Yehovah are both male and female, then he can also seal both men and women. Now, I want to look at that word. There's 3 words there that are in Hebrew. Tav al mishot, and that means the tav upon the foreheads. The tav al mishot is in both Revelation 7:3 and in Ezekiel 9, where we can match it up word for words. This is exciting because we didn't have this until the Hebrew Gospels were unveiled for such a time as this. So now we can put it all together and line it up word for word, and we don't have to go around the Greek Gospels to try to find it. We've now found it in the Hebrew Gospels. So what about the tav? What does it matter? It does matter in the fact, yes, it does mean mark or sign, and it can even mean a brand. But it also means a musical note or a musical score. This is where it gets exciting. Now, what happens when the tav is given upon the foreheads of Jehovah's servants? Well, I don't know. Could it be a music? Could it be a frequency? Could it be something else? I don't know what that is. And I don't think anyone will know until that point in time, until the tav is put upon the servants of Yehovah, and then it shall be revealed, because Father is giving this gift. So I think, in my personal opinion, I think it's all of the above. I think it's also a physical mark. I think it is also musical. And I think that it's going to be a power, presence, song, might that comes with the singing. That's what my personal belief is. So let's look at Exodus 15. Exodus 15, verse 2. Yah is my strength and song might, and he has become my deliverance. Oh, that's Yeshua, by the way. Salvation. He is my God, and I praise him, God of my father, and I exalt him. This is Exodus 15:2. This is out of the Song of the Sea. Now, why does it matter? Yah is my strength is the physical manifestation of that song and might. And Yeshua is all throughout the Song of the Sea, because there he is, right there in that word, salvation, deliverance, Yeshua. So if Yah is a physical manifestation of that song and might, where else is he? Because that word song and might, by the way, that's the zamar. It's actually in Hebrew, it's zimrat, and it's an ancient way of writing that word zamar in a feminine form. And it is exciting because you don't see that in too many places. And it's the very first place where you see that writing of the Zimrat there in the Song of the Sea. So let's compare to Revelation 22:13. Yeshua says, I am the first and the last, the beginning and the end. He is the first and the last, right? So because he is the first and the last, let's think about this. The first song is the Song of the Sea in Exodus 15. And it says, Yah is my strength and my song and might. He is a physical strength. He is a physical existence, the power, song, and might. And this is the first song. So if Yeshua was the first and the last and is the first and the last, wouldn't it make sense that the first song, the Song of the Sea, would also be the final song, the Song of the Sea, the Aleph, and the Tav? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, the Song of the Sea is a song of the 144,000 revealed. This is Yeshua in the beginning. This is Yeshua in the end. And this is a song that was sang in the beginning. And this is a song that is sang in the end. But I'm telling you, I don't know that anybody truly has all of the music of this song. I'm thinking there's something missing, perhaps a few verses, perhaps a frequency. I don't know. But I do know that we know what song it is. We do know what song it is. And the complexity of the Exodus 15, clearly there is some mysteries hidden within the grammar of the Song of the Sea. And of course, I'll get into that some other time. Wouldn't it be nice if we actually had a message in the bottle that flows up in the ocean that says, hey, this is that song. This is that miraculous song I've been telling you about. Well, I don't know. Do we have anything that maybe would tell us that this is a song that's going to be sung in the future? Let's look at Exodus 15:2 again. Then Moses and the children of Israel shall sing this song to Yehovah, and spoke, saying, I shall sing to Yehovah, for he is highly exalted. The horse and his rider he is thrown into the sea. He's sitting there telling you right here, this is a prophetic future. The Moses and the children of Israel shall sing this song in the future. And then they proclaim, I shall sing to Yehovah. What does the NIV say? The NIV says, and Moses and the Israelites sang this song. They put it in past tense. Then what does the King James say? Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord. So here we have both in the NIV and King James, they put it in the past tense. And some argue, oh, well, because of the ancient biblical Hebrew, that it really means past tense. Oh, I'm telling you, this is a prophetic future. This is the prophetic future of the 144,000 singing the miraculous song of the Song of the Sea, a renewed song, the specific song, which was defined by Yehovah to be sung by his chosen servants in the end of days, in this day, for such a time as this. So what did we find today? We found the gift of singing through the Hebrew Gospels. Those of you who have this gift of singing, I'm saying sing. There is that zamar, that song, that might. It's the presence of Yehovah with you. And we were able to identify what is a Mizmorim versus a Psalms. The Mizmor versus a Psalm. Well, we now can say there's a difference. There's the Tehillim, the Psalms, or there's the Mizmorim, the power songs. Now you know how to find those power songs. We also know that Revelation was written to Jehovah's servants. And the final thing that we were able to identify is we found the song of the 144,000, the Song of the Sea. This is exciting because all of this happened because of the fact that we were able to study the Hebrew Gospels. And I want to thank Dr. Miles Jones and B'nai Manah for allowing this study to go forth and allowing us to reveal this mystery to you, because guaranteed there's more to come, because there's more mysteries that has already been revealed and more that's to be released. This is an exciting time, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm saying be prepared. Pray, seek the Father with your heart, mind, and soul. Thank you all for joining me this day, and I say shalom to all of you.